Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a trip over to Nadi, Fiji, flying on Fiji Airways in business class, flying out of LAX over to Nadi. So this is going to be my first time ever going to Fiji. I'm definitely looking forward to this, and my first time also flying on Fiji Airways. So while here at LAX, there are a couple different lounges you can access with a business class seat on Fiji Airways. So I have the ability to access both the One World Lounge and also the Star Alliance Lounge. Now, I haven't been to either of those here at LAX, so this is going to be pretty fun to be able to go there and see what they're all about. So as I head over to the One World Lounge, one thing I will note is that if you are flying on Fiji Airways in business class, just know that they are not part of TSA pre-check, so I had to go through the entire process of going through the regular lane, which, isn't horrible, but it just took a long time. So that's one thing definitely to take into consideration is even if you happen to have TSA pre-check, if you are going to get yourself a business class flight with Fiji or any flight with Fiji, you're not going to be able to use your TSA pre-check at LAX. Alrighty, I'm here at the One World Lounge at LAX. Very close to, as soon as you get through the international security line, just take a right, and then there's going to be escalators, so very easy to get to. One thing I will say is this lounge is quite big, but also quite crowded. There is a lot of people here, and there is a decent amount of seats, I will say that, but it took me a minute to find a seat that had a table to get some food. So I guess there's just a lot of people who are flying internationally with One World. So if you happen to have business class flights with One World, you can get access to this One World Lounge. But also if you happen to have status and you are flying outside of the US, you can also access this lounge. So if you happen to have status with something like American Airlines, but you're just flying domestically, you won't be able to access this lounge. But say you happen to be flying over to Australia or something like that, then you would be able to have access to this. But I will say that the food here at this lounge is so good. Just tastes really, really good, and it's very well done. So I would for sure put this lounge over something like the Centurion Lounge when it comes to just food-wise. And then just atmosphere. I think that the atmosphere here is pretty beautiful as well. There's a nice like fireplace on the other side of the lounge that you could sit at. And yeah, I mean, there's not like really any windows for you to be able to see outside to look at like the airplanes, but as a whole, even though there's a lot of people in here, it is very, very spacious. And I think this is a great lounge to jump into if you have the opportunity to. Alrighty, so I'm soon to head over to the Star Alliance Lounge over here at LAX. I will say that this lounge right here is really nice. I kind of don't even feel like leaving it, but I want to just to show other people who are watching what the other lounge is like. But this lounge is everything. I mean, if you needed a shower, there is the option for that. I don't need to access it because I've already showered today and I feel fine. But yeah, it's just a really nice lounge. Definitely still pretty packed, but just a lot of space. I haven't visited the first class Qantas lounge, which is here, but you have to be flying first class out. Because I'm only flying business class, I don't have access to it. But I imagine that one may end up being a little bit better than this. I have heard that that one's food is just incredible because it does have like dining, like a la carte, where you can order it and sit down, like a restaurant, which you don't have here. But even still, the food here has been the best buffet food I've had at a lounge. So yeah, this has been a really good experience when it comes to lounge options, drinks. Just only had some champagne, but just there's bottles for you to be able to pour, and there's also bartenders if you want to get yourself a mixed drink. So I like that as an option to be able to have the ability to either pour something if you just want something that's easy for you to get, or if you want to have a nice cocktail, you have that as an option as well. All right, to get to the Star Alliance Lounge, you have to take the elevator that's in the center, and then it takes you up to the 6th floor. I believe that the other one I just went up the escalator. I think it was the 5th floor for the One World Lounge, but for the Star Alliance Lounge, you want to go up to the 6th floor, and that's how you'll be able to access it. Alrighty, so I'm here inside the Star Alliance Lounge at LAX, and I gotta say, this lounge is really pretty. I really like the way this thing's set up. There's a ton of space, and it's not as crowded anywhere near as like the One World Lounge. It could just be the time of day, certain flights, depending on, I guess, the popularity of the flights from the One World Lounge. I heard a lot of Australian people. It's a Qantas lounge, so that could be, maybe a lot of people were just about to fly over to Sydney or Melbourne or something like that. But this one definitely has way more available seats and not as crowded. And when it comes to just like the way it looks, it's definitely, I would say, like a nicer looking lounge. It isn't anywhere near as big, so even though the other one was more crowded, the other one was definitely a lot bigger as well. Um, and also, there's a nice like view you get when if you happen to want to sit over here, like on the edge of the lounge. So it's like you get to look down at like all the different cool landscape of LAX over here in the international terminal. So I like that. The bad news about today is that out of the few days that it rains in Los Angeles, although it has rained a lot of times this year, it is raining today. So the outside terrace is closed, which has like a nice fireplace at night, so it looks really, really cool. And then also, great places if you want to like sit back and watch the planes move around and take off and be able to have a nice drink. So that's unfortunate that bar and area is shut down right now, so I can't, go out there and just enjoy that. But I'm okay with sitting where I am right now. I'm gonna go get just another quick little bite so I can try out the food here. Alrighty, so I just had some of the food here at the Star Alliance Lounge in Los Angeles, and I gotta say, the food here, even though it was kind of limited as compared to the One World Lounge, it was still really good. I really, really liked it here. I do think that the One World Lounge food was better and more options, but maybe I'm just super hungry. But yeah, the food here was really good as well. Now, if I had to choose again between which lounge I'd rather go to, being the One World Lounge or the Star Alliance Lounge, I didn't get to get the full experience of the Star Alliance Lounge since the terrace is closed. So as of right now, the One World Lounge just seems like the better one to go to. But maybe with that open, the experience would be better to be able to just relax outside. But yeah, I really like the One World Lounge. I would say that if I had to come here again, the One World Lounge would be the one that I would choose if I had the option between the two. Alrighty, great lounge experience. Now time to head over to my gate. That was a super easy walk. I know that when I read online and I've seen other people complain, they were saying about how far this other terminal is at like in the 200s. And even though I've flown LAX all the time, I haven't actually been over here until this time. But yeah, it was, I don't know, under 10 minutes it took me to walk over here. I mean, it takes longer if you go from something like the Centurion Lounge over to the United terminals, which is almost like 25 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. So that to me isn't even like worth it. But this one, if you happen to be either going to like the Star Alliance Lounge or One World Lounge or the Centurion Lounge, and then you need to walk over to one of the 200 gates, it's not a big deal at all. Alrighty, we've just taken off towards Nadi, Fiji from LAX, and initial thoughts is that one, the cabin crew here is incredibly nice. The music they were playing and also just how they were acting, you already kind of feel like you're on vacation before you even arrive to Fiji. It's really, really cool. I definitely am a fan of what I've been experiencing so far. They brought out some champagne that was quite tasty, and they take your dinner order along with your breakfast order. So I guess they don't have to come back around and then ask again what we want. So they just take it so then that when we are ready and we wake up in the morning, our food's just already going to be here for what we already want to order. So that's pretty cool. Um, yeah, initial thoughts of the seat. The seat is comfortable, very comfortable. I like the orange lighting that they have in here. I guess they're turning it up a little bit because they're about to bring out the food. And yeah, the way everything's set up, it's nice. You definitely feel like you're about to head to vacation, which is really, really cool.
Do not hesitate to ask the crew if you need further assistance. For your awareness, ladies and gentlemen, all guests are required to...
As I look at the entertainment system for Fiji Airways business class, the screen is decent size. When it comes to the different options for movies, I'd say it's okay. I mean, they definitely have, like, if you want to watch TV shows, which is nice, so there could be something you could binge watch, but maybe it's just because I've been doing some flying lately. I've already seen a number of, like, the newer films, but there wasn't a ton of options that I was looking forward to. However, there is many options for Japanese citizens or people who speak Japanese or Chinese or Indian. They had, like, specifically films in those languages, so that's nice for people who are trying to visit Fiji from those areas. But it does have something like The Town, The Prestige, Love and Basketball, so these are some that I may end up watching. But it does also have some of the newer films. It had, like, Flash, which I've already saw and I thought was terrible, and the Marvels and some of these other just superhero films. But yeah, I think it's going to work out for the 11-hour flight that I have coming. But I guess I just have seen more options on other planes, such as like American Airlines. But that could just be because I'm thinking about American films as compared to some international options as well. So these headphones are quite comfortable. Definitely have really good audio sound. I can hear everything perfectly when watching this film. Good job by Fiji Airways for having some decent headphones, because even some other business class you get in, and they kind of seem a little bit suspect, but no, these things are well put together. So Fiji Airways does offer to get yourself Wi-Fi in business class, however, you do have to pay for it. I believe it's something like $15, and there's even like a higher cost one if you want to have like the entire flight. I'm just going to watch films. I don't typically end up getting internet when I'm flying unless it's just given to me. Usually it ends up being in like first class, or some airlines will just give it to you, but yeah, it's just one of those things that's always kind of boggles my mind about business class, where this flight could end up being many thousands of dollars, but they're going to make you pay, $15 or $30 for internet. But that's just how it goes, even in business class. Usually first class you end up just getting internet given to you, but yeah, if you are someone who wants to have internet, just know that you can pay a few bucks to be able to have access. Usually it's not like hyper speed internet. It ends up being just something that can let you receive emails and different things like that. So, but yeah, I'm just gonna watch some films. I think it's gonna be a easy option and save me a few bucks. Okay, we are about 2.5 hours into this flight, and I must say I am pretty impressed. The food was really, really good. I was definitely happy with the dinner. It didn't blow me away or anything, but the lobster I liked a lot. And then the chicken for dinner was pretty good, you know. I will say the service has been just absolutely fantastic. They've just been super happy and seem like they love their job and taking care of me. When it comes to the temperature on this plane, it has been really good. I have like a sweatshirt on, but I don't need to wear it. I will say that there's like a vent that's been blowing AC and it's dripped on my head, I think like twice. It was very minimal, but I felt something, and she like wiped up there, trying to figure out exactly what it was. So that was interesting. The ride has been smooth. The chair is very comfortable. Yeah, you know, it's we still have about 8-ish hours left of this flight, so I've been on here for a little over 2 hours now. So it's about time to go to sleep. Be like past 1 a.m. in Los Angeles. So I'll catch you guys hopefully in the morning for breakfast. So I'm just gonna turn this into a lay flat bed and get some shut eye. Good morning, everyone. I'm here after about 5 hours of sleep. Still have about 3 hours left of this journey before we arrive in Fiji. What I'll say about this seat when it comes to bed mode, it was definitely on the harder side. So while when I sit in it, I feel fine. When I was in bed mode, I felt like I was lying down on a wood floor. It was definitely on the harder side. I've had other ones that have felt more cushiony. This one's definitely not like that. There's also a little bit decently warm in here, but the good thing is that I have my individual nozzles, because I woke up halfway through just sweating. So I took off my sweatshirt, then woke up again, still sweating. So then I looked up, turned on the individual nozzles. So now I feel a little bit cooler. So that's one thing, at least that's good that you have in this, where you can access that. Whereas some airlines, even in business and in first class, you don't even have the ability to even change the temperature. So that's nice that I was able to at least bring down the temperature. But yeah, I would say that comfort-wise, when it comes to bed mode, wasn't. I mean, the space is okay. So I have like a decent amount of space, but it just felt hard. And like I've slept on the floor before, and this feels like sleeping on the floor. Okay, so we're about 50 minutes before landing in Fiji, so I'm just gonna give my final thoughts of the business class experience on Fiji Airways from LAX over to Nadi. So I'll say that this was a really good experience. One, just starting off back at the lounges, having the ability to have access to both the Star Alliance Lounge and the One World Lounge is really nice. I liked the One World Lounge more, and I thought the food was better there, and it was just really big, although it was a little bit more busy. That's the one I would like to go to again. Now, when it comes to the actual business class flight, I've really enjoyed this. The staff has been absolutely fantastic. Like I said earlier, when you get on this plane, you already feel like you're on vacation. It's like the vacation has already started while you sit down. They had really nice music. There's purple lighting. You already feel like you're in a tropical place. It's really, really cool. They've been so nice, so kind the entire time. I've had a few different people who've just been coming over to me, making sure that I'm taken care of. The drinks that I've had have been really good. And then when it came to the food, the lobster as the appetizer was fantastic for the night dish. The chicken that I had was okay. So I won't say that that was like the greatest, but it did its purpose. Then the breakfast, and I'm someone who's usually like a stickler for breakfast because sometimes eggs aren't made very well and things like that. But the breakfast I had here was really good. And then when it comes to the seat, like I said earlier, with sitting down like this, it was really, really comfortable. And when I went to the lay flat bed, it just felt hard and like I was lying down on the floor, so it wasn't as comfortable. So my sleeping experience wasn't the greatest. That's like the only real downside I kind of have about this experience. Now, I was able to book this using Alaskan Airlines miles. Unfortunately, this deal, by the time this video comes out, is no longer going to be around. It was 55,000 Alaskan Airlines miles to fly from LAX over to Nadi, and you could have an extended stopover over in Nadi and then continue on, which is exactly what I'm doing, over to Sydney, Australia. So this was a fantastic deal. I don't know exactly what it's changing to. I think it's somewhere either between like 75 or 85,000 Alaskan Airlines miles moving forward. So it has increased quite a bit. I would say that my expectations before coming in, they weren't really much. I was just like, okay, we'll see what Fiji Airways is going to have. It's not one of the bigger airlines that you hear talked about very often. But wow, they really do have a good product. Like when I think about the staff for Fiji Airways in business class, like I've had great staff in other airlines, whether even be in first class, things like that, but I've never had such a friendly and happy staff. That's the difference, I think, with this one, where it's like they seem like they really like their job. They're just happy, good-spirited. It's like we're on the beach and they're just being like, you want something to drink? You want something to eat? They're just having a good time. It's just been absolutely fantastic. I've just really, really been happy with the entire thing. It's nice to be around people who seem happy and are happy with doing their job. Like in other experiences that I've had in business and first class, they may be nice to me, but they don't always seem as happy. But the Fijian people who've been working here for this business class flight have seemed incredibly happy, and I've never met anyone from Fiji before, so this is my first experience of meeting anyone from Fiji, and they just seem like very warm and kind-hearted people. So this is a great experience to have before touching down into this new country, and hopefully the Fijian people while over there are going to be just as kind and as awesome as the staff has been with Fiji Airways. I would definitely recommend Fiji Airways business class to anyone in the world. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about Fiji Airways in the business class, drop it in the comment section down below and I'll do the best I can to answer it. And if you happen to really like this video, do me a favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this video, and have a beautiful rest of your day. Peace.